Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, which is Software Testing with Reed. This is the 6th video in our SQL Practical Series. In the last video, we learned how to use constraints and keys to keep our data clean. Today, we'll learn some of very powerful SQL features, which are aggregate functions and group by with practical examples. These are must-know tools if you are doing database testing or data analysis. So let's get started. Aggregate functions perform calculations on group of rows and return a single result. They are very useful when you want to count how many records are in a table, calculate totals, find averages, or find minimum or maximum values. You can use them with or without group by. I'll show you both in this lecture. So let's get started. First, let's create a demo table and let's call it sales data for practice. So we'll write create table sales data and let's add the columns that we want. So we'll be adding sale ID of type number of let's keep it our primary key and let's have another column of region where sales is happening of type varchar 2 of length 50 or 20. And let's go for product of name of the products. So it will be varchar 2 and length 50. And then let's have quantity of type number and price per unit of type number. Let's run this and this will create a table for us for our practice today. So our sales data table is created. Now let's check this data or structure of this table using describe command first. DSC sales data and let's run this. So you see we have the sales ID, region, product, quantity, and price per unit. And these are the data types, and sales ID is our primary key. Now let's check the what's inside our table, which should be like empty. So we'll write select star from table name, which is sales data, and let's run this. So you see our table is empty for now, and now we'll be adding some data into this. Let's use insert command to insert data. So we'll write insert into sales and data values, and we'll be having like first sale ID and region, let's call it north, and let's say the product name is laptop, and let's say the quantity that was sold was 5 and the price per unit is $500. So let's run this. So one row is inserted. Now let's add a few more product data. So let's say we'll be adding like 5 or 6 products. So second product of sales ID 2, region is south, and this is also, let's say, laptop, and the number of products are 3 and the price is $520. Let's say the third product's is sales ID 3, region north, and let's call it, the product name is tablet of quantity 7, and the amount is 200. Tablet. And now let's say the fourth product is from Northeast, and it's also laptop, and let's say the units are 2 and the price is $510. And now for the fifth product, sales ID 5 from South, and let's say it's tablet, and let's say the quantity is 4 and the price is $210. And next is product number 6 from North West, and let's say it's laptop, and the unit is number quantity is 6 and the price is $600. And let's say we add 2 more, and let's say it's product number 7 and product number 8. 7th is from North, and this one is from East. Let's say this is the 7th one is tablet of quantity 3 and price $190. And the 8th one is from East with this is also tablet of quantity 8 and price $205. So let's run this. So all our data is inserted into our table. So let's check into our table now. So you see we have 8 products from the different regions. This is the product name, and these are the quantity and the price per unit. Now let's start from our first aggregate function, which is count function. So count function tells us how many rows are in a table or how many values in a column are present. So we can kind of count total sales records. Let's do that. And so we can do it using basically. So I just commented this. So we are going to count total sales records. So let's write it. We'll write select count. That is our aggregate function, count star. So we are considering the whole table from, and then table name, which is sales data, and let's run it. So we have we have 8 products in our table. So this shows the total number of our sales records that we have. So now let's see, let's say we want to count how many unique products that are there that were sold. So we'll write select count, and then here we'll write distinct. So we use a distinct keyword whenever we want to find the unique records. So we'll write product because we want to find the unique products that were sold. So ideally we should get 2, and then from, then table name, that is sales data, and let's run this. So you see we have laptop and tablet in our table that were kind of the products that were sold. So we have only 2 as answer. Let's try, like, if we want to find unique region, so we can do it like this. So select count distinct, and then we just write region, and then just the from table name, and then you should get 4 because we have 4 direct regions: south, north, east, west. So you see, this is how you can use count aggregate function to count this kind of records. Now let's go to the second aggregate function, which is sum. So sum function is basically used to calculate total of a numeric column. For example, kind of calculating total quantity sold. So let's write a query for it. So we can write select sum, and then we want to do quantity and as to total quantity sold from sales data, and let's run this. So in total, like combining, summing all the tablets and laptops that were sold, we got like 38 products were sold. Or if we want to calculate like how much was the total revenue, which was like, let's say, a total revenue is calculated as quantity into price per unit. So we can write select sum, which is sum is our aggregate function, and then it's quantity product price per unit, and then we write as total revenue from sales data. So if we run this, we should get the total revenue generated. There is a syntax error I added, like quantity spelling wrong, so we can rewrite it. Let's copy it directly from here so we don't make mistake again. Let's put it here and let's run this. So you see, the total revenue generated was $13,130. So this is how you can use second aggregate function, which is sum. Now let's move to the third aggregate function. Our third aggregate function is average, which we write like AVG and then round brackets. And average is used to calculate the average of numeric column. So so let's try it. So we can write select AVG, which is our average function, and then price per unit. So we want to estimate like what was the average price per unit, and then as average price, and then from table name, which is our sales data table, and let's run this. So you see, the average price was $366.8795. For now, the next function, the aggregate functions that we have are minimum and maximum. So let's try to uh, check what they do. So we have min. This is how we write minimum function, and we have max function. So we write max and then round brackets. So min and max are used to find, like, can be used to find smallest and largest value. So let's see how to use them. So we'll write select min, and then we'll write price per unit. So we want to see what was the minimum price as min price, and let's say max, and then we write price per unit as max price from our table name, which is sales data. So basically, if you look into the data that we inserted, so our minimum is $200. So we should get this as our minimum price, and for maximum we should get 600. So let's run this query and see what we get. So you see, we got, we have a minimum price of 190. I missed that. And the maximum price is 600. So we got it. And this is how you can use min and maximum function, aggregate function, to get the min and max uh, price for your product from the table. So now let's check these aggregate functions with group by clause. It allows us to calculate aggregate per group, for example, by region. So let's try. So what we are checking now is group by clause with aggregate functions. So first of all, we want to check like how uh, many sales per region were there. So this is how we are going to write it. So we'll write select region and then count start. So we are going to count the regions as sales count, and then from table name, which is our sales data, and we are going to group this sales by. So we write as region. So we write group by region, and let's run this. So it shows like 2 from south, 2 from east, 3 in north, and 1 from west. We can verify this from our table. So let's do that. So let's say we run select command, and you see we have north is 1 and 2. So we have 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 north, and that's what our query was giving. So let's check here. So you see we have north 3. So you can see like we can group by region, and then we can use the aggregate functions like this with group by clause. Let's say the second thing is we want to calculate the total quantity that was sold per region. So what we want to calculate is total quantity per region. So we'll write select region and then sum quantity, because we want to know the sum of the total quantity sold, and as total quantity, and from table name, which is sales data, and next is group by region, because here also we want to group the total quantity sold by region. So you see we get like the total products that were sold in different regions. We can calculate like this using aggregate function. Like here we use sum aggregate function, and previously we used count aggregate function. Now let's say we also want to calculate like what was the total revenue per region. So we can per region. So we can calculate it like this: select region sum quantity star and then price per unit as revenue, and then from table name, which is sales data, and group by, again we are going to group by region, and then let's run this. So you see we got the total estimate of what was the total revenue made from each region. So this is how you can use group by clause with the aggregate functions. So now let me show you one more thing, which is having clause. So what having clause let you do is it let us filter groups. For example, showing regions where the total revenue was more than $2,000 or $2,500. So we can do this, use having clause for that. So what we are going to do is show regions where total revenue was greater than $2,500. So how can we do it? We'll use having clause. So we write select region sum quantity times price per unit, and then as revenue from table name, which is sales data, and then group by region because we want to calculate region wise, and then we use having clause, having sum quantity times price per unit greater than 2500. And let's run this and see what we get. Okay, there it shows some error. So I don't think there is error. But let's run this and we'll see if there is any syntax error here. Oh, there is some error, so we'll check where it is. We have a wrong spelling for select, so let's correct this. And now let's run this query. So let me first show you what was the total revenue region wise, and then we'll check like which region. So you see we should get east, north and west as our answer, and it should not include south. So let's run this having clause query, and you see like I said south is dropped and we have east, north and west region. Let's say if we want to know like which region had like sales more than $3,000, so it should only give us last two values. So you see we got only north and west, and if I put 5,000, so we'll not be getting any results from here. So you see, this is how you can use group by and having clause with the aggregate functions. Now let's quickly recap what we have learned today. So we learned our aggregate functions. We use sales data as our example table here, and then we inserted information of 8 uh, objects or products, and then we used count function first to know what were the total sales records, and used like distinct like knowing the unique products that were sold, or even the unique region. And then we used some aggregate function. Next was average to know the average price, and we also investigated min and max function, aggregate function. Then we checked aggregate functions with group by clause, and finally we checked the aggregate functions with group by and having clause. So I hope you understood this. Thank you so much for watching this video on SQL aggregate functions and group by. If you found it helpful, please like, share and subscribe to my channel, which is Software Testing with Ree. See you in the next video.